He's weird.
Best thing on the radio.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, you stand in scarlet beauty. Your branch is green in summer's home, and evergreen in winter's snow. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. Uh-oh.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. That was the scene up in Troy. Wednesday night. You've seen the pictures of this? I'm sure you have by now. I didn't have a show last night, so I couldn't be on the air talking about it, but that big Christmas tree in their roundabout in the center of town got blown down. I posted a video on Wednesday night. I heard noises out in front of my house and went out to find not one but two trash cans just blown across the yard. So I did what every self-respecting husband would do. I went back inside and told my wife about it and said, tomorrow morning when you leave for work, there's trash cans. No, I did tell her that. I said, just leave them. I'll get it. But then apparently my neighbor did it for me. So it worked out. It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. The live stream is up on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I saw that they are going to replace that Christmas tree. I guess somebody's already donated it. It was so damaged that they thought we can't do anything about this, and try to fix it and put it back up. And I thought, well, why not this year just do like a Christmas bush? Just trim it down. It seems like a waste. The Christmas tree, now it's Christmas kindling, I guess. What do we have on the big show tonight? Oh, this is great. I don't know if you saw this story about the driving simulators that they're putting up in Springfield. This was a big deal, has been a big deal in Springfield because of the huge Haitian population. A lot of these folks don't have the type of driver training that maybe a lot of us have had in the past, but they are getting their license because in the state of Ohio, you only have to be 18 and pass a test. Now, when I got my license, I was talking to somebody about this today. I had my learner's permit when I was 15, and I would drive around with my mom and dad. And then when I got to high school, I took driver's ed. And driver's ed was a first period class for me my sophomore year. And every few days, I would get in the car with a couple of classmates and our driving instructor, Norm Ashworth from Beaver Creek, the late, great Norm Ashworth. And he would drive us around Greene County. And that's how we learned to drive. We had to learn to drive. We didn't just have to take a test. And when you went to get your license, you had to pass the road test. You had the written test, and then you had the road test. And in fact, I will admit it, the first time I took the test, I failed. Because, and I argued this point, but it fell on deaf ears. Nobody cares what a 16-year-old kid has to say about driver's test. I took the test in Greene County, and it still takes, I think you can still do it in Xenia. And I was driving through downtown Xenia, and there was a stop sign that was attached to the edge of a building. Instead of an actual, post in the ground, because we were downtown, it was attached to the side of the building. But it was not at the same height as a regular stop sign. I'm not kidding. It was like two feet higher. And I didn't see it because it wasn't right in my eye line. They didn't care. I still failed. And I know somebody who, older person, who got their license back in the 50s. And she accidentally let her license lapse. She didn't realize that her license had expired, and she got stopped for something, and it turned out her license had been expired. And again, she was an older person. So at the time, she had to take the test. She had to go back and take the driving test. And guess what? She failed. And she never got a license again. So there's something to be said for actually getting behind the wheel and driving. So now, and I saw this on WHIO.com, they've installed 10 new driving simulators in Springfield. Now, the governor, Mike DeWine, was very adamant that this was not targeted at just the Haitians. It's targeted for anybody who wants to learn to drive in a simulator. Because as I said, right now, if you're 18 and older, all you have to do is pass a written test, which just seems crazy to me. It seems crazy to me. It feels like, we're going to give you this gigantic piece of steel that can travel at over 100 miles per hour. And all you got to do is just pass this test, know where the turn signal is, know what to do when it gets dark out. When do you turn your lights on? When do you turn your lights off? Right? If your blinkers aren't working, what are your hand signals out the window? I'm turning left. I'm turning right. I'm slowing down. All of those things. What do you do when you come to a school bus? If you could pass that, you can just get behind the wheel. But I love the idea that he has where he wants to make it, I guess, he wants it to go back to the way it was. That if you are a first-time driver, and this is the way I understood it, is if you're getting your license for the very first time, you have to pass a test, a road test, not a written test. I mean, you have to pass that too, but you're going to have to pass a road test. And that's the way it should be. Am I wrong on this? I mean, wouldn't you feel more comfortable being out on the road knowing that brand new drivers, whether they're from Haiti, whether they're from Canada, whether they're from France, it doesn't matter where they're from, or right here in the Miami Valley, that if you are a brand new driver and you're getting your license, you've actually spent time behind the wheel. It's ridiculous to me to think that you can just walk in, pass a test, and they hand you your license, and you've never been inside a car driving before. And you know that that's happened. I'm sure many people who are over the age of 18, and I'm assuming that learner's permits are still available, but I don't know if it's just for teenagers. I guess you could be 35 and get a learner's permit and drive with an experienced driver, but at least in that case, you're practicing with somebody watching, hopefully a responsible person. You're not just their designated driver. That's happened before. I'm going to get you your learner's permit so you can pick me up at the bar at closing time. Okay, Dad. But I think that is a great idea. They ought to change the law, and that's what the governor says. He's going to work with the state legislature to change that. It says whatever age you are, if you're getting your license for the first time, you need to take driver's training. And to say that once you turn 18, you don't have training just does not make, frankly, any sense at all. And I agree. I agree 100%. 937-457-1290 if you got a comment on that. I'm excited to announce that the first bikes from the Huffy Holidays, Todd's Bikes for Tykes, were delivered today to the Greene County Sheriff's Office. This is exciting. They've got a shop with a cop happening tomorrow at the Walmart there in Xenia. And they've got a family that they've sponsored. The kids are going to get bikes. And then they got a few other bikes that the kids participating in the shop with a cop will be able to register for and hopefully win. So the first the shipment. And we've got more bikes that are going to be delivered next week. So that's exciting. New bikes for kids for Christmas. Let's see. Lisa in Beaver Creek. Hey, Lisa.
Yeah,
Yep, you're on, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well. So what's going on? It says you work at a DMV.
I do.
Oh, that's a brave job. That is a brave job.
Oh, it's a great job.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. So what's happening?
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so I've been doing this for almost 17 years now,
Okay.
and people are required to have a valid permit before they can take their driver's test.
So what do you mean? They have to have a valid permit? What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that.
They have to take the written test, the knowledge test, and pass it
Okay.
before they can take their driver's test. And then if you're over the age of 18, you are not required driver education.
See, that's what we're talking about
Driving
here. That's
school.
what we're talking
Right.
about. We're saying that you can walk in, you can take the test, the written test, get
Yep.
your learner's permit or get your, I guess, temporary license, and
Yep.
then you can start driving, right?
Yes.
And I get that, but don't you? I just feel like there should be some sort of training ahead of time before you do that.
I won't disagree with you. Not even in the least.
Because we know how bad drivers are.
Yes.
And Ohio and Dayton in particular keep showing up on crappy drivers lists.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I just feel I agree with the governor.
Yeah.
There needs to be some sort of driver's training. Now, I'm not saying that they have to do like I mentioned when I was in high school, it was 9 weeks worth. Now, I'm not saying that
Right.
somebody has to go through 9 weeks of this. You know, you could maybe it could just be a few days.
Yeah.
But at least it's some sort of training that gives you all of these real world examples of what to do in certain scenarios that you might not necessarily face on your typical day driving to work.
Correct.
So, all right, well, Lisa, I appreciate your hard work there at the DMV.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one. You got a comment on that? Hit me up.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, a hero.
Oh, he's a keeper.
Fun listening. It's a good ride, but there's never any real danger.
Give it some time, man. You'll realize.
You'll see, he'll grow on you.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, I'm so glad it's the weekend. I know I haven't had a full week of shows, but man, oh man. I needed something other than water tonight, so I'm having some Diet Coke. I don't usually drink a lot of Diet Coke, honestly. But I needed something different. Yep, Ron, that's where I took mine. I took mine at the Xenia Armory by Shawnee Park. That's where I failed too. I wonder if it was the same stop sign that you missed. Thank you, Susan. People are asking, why were you growling at it? Well, look, what are you going to do when there's a bat in your house? I don't even know if he could hear me. I think bats just sense things with their radar. So I have no idea if they can even hear me, making my noises or what. One for one. Whoosh. Bats use sonar, not radar. Well, what? Potato, potato. But I know the difference. That makes sense. Radar is used with radio waves, so unless the bats are transmitting their radio frequencies.
Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Something told me to turn on the radio.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. If you're looking for something fun to do tonight with the kids for the holidays, you might try out the Salvation Army Dayton Croc Center. It's a Whoville Christmas. Goes until 8 o'clock. Starts here in a couple of minutes. Croc Center is located at 1000 North Kiwi Street in Dayton. And there's going to be train rides, games, crafts, a live nativity with live animals. I'm sure there'll be cows, maybe some sheep, hopefully a donkey. But will they have camels? That's the big question. You really know that the nativity is quality when they've got live camels. Also Santa, and of course, because it is Whoville, the Grinch will be there. And again, that's until 8 o'clock tonight. Salvation Army, Dayton Croc Center. Get more at DaytonCroc, KROC.org. 937-457-1290. Donna in Inglewood. Hey, Donna, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm well. Are you keeping warm?
Yeah.
It's right now it's about 30, so it's kind of a heat wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I raised 5 children, so I gave them driving lessons as well.
Right.
Back then, they didn't have to take driver's ed like they do now. And my sister-in-law, my brother passed away. My sister-in-law didn't drive, so I had to teach her. And so she did need some extra help. And so I prayed one day, and AAA was like right beside me for driver's ed. So I called them, and they helped her do the driving for the maneuverability because we didn't do that. We did parallel parking back in the olden days.
Right.
But I've helped about 12 people learn how to drive. I take them to the church and drive around the parking lot, make them back up, and make sure they know what they're doing on that. And then I take them to a cemetery, because a big one's that you can drive around all the area without anybody there. And then I take them out on the street when I know they're ready.
And none of your students have hit any buildings, I'm assuming. Am I correct?
Nothing.
Excellent.
Nothing. They're good drivers.
Excellent.
Good drivers.
Good work, Donna. Appreciate it. Thanks for your call.
But you're right. There's people out there that they go get their driver's permit and they think they can just get in the car and drive off, and you can't do that.
Yeah. I got you. Thanks for your call. Have a great weekend. 937-457-1290. Coming up, I've got this. There's a game out there called Jenga. Everybody knows Jenga, right? You build the blocks and you try to build a big tower. Somebody has turned it into a drinking game.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment. Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H. Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
on WHIO.
That's funny, Robert. All righty. Just trying to find a sound effect. And I found it. Whoosh. Well, that was more of a bank shot, but it went in. We got to finish decorating this weekend. We did put some of the outdoor decorations out, but it was too cold last weekend to put them all out. I wasn't having it. So hopefully tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be maybe in the 50s. I think that's what I saw. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
If news breaks, we break in anytime. Now, back to America's most powerful talk lineup. This is WHIO.
Everybody, could I have your attention, please?
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Now, hold on, dummy. Just you listen to me.
Now, listen to me carefully. You boys got something to say to me? Why don't you talk into the microphone?
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Watch the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Right now on my Facebook page, you can click on a link. If you go to it, just at Evening Edge Todd, you'll see a Evening Edge Christmas ornament. It's me. We call it Santa Toddy. That's the character. But it's a really nice handmade porcelain Christmas ornament, and I'm giving a bunch away. You can register to win one of those. Also, we have the Evening Edge coffee mugs. These would be perfect for Christmas. And speaking of which, you could go to thetoddshop.com if you are a fan or you have a fan in your life, and maybe pick up an Evening Edge t-shirt or sweatshirt or baby onesie or whatever else they got. And $2 from each item will go to a local charity. 937-457-1290. Let me talk to Kim in Springfield real quick. Hey, Kim.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. What's shaking?
Hey, I just wanted to throw a couple things at you here about the whole driving thing.
Okay.
So one thing that a lot of people probably do not realize is in Haiti, the word permit means permission.
Ah, so when they get their permit, they may think that, oh, well, then we could just do what we got our license. We can go. Go.
Absolutely. And then the other thing to that, where there's been a major conflict, is when they go in to take their written part, the translators are giving them the answers. So they're really not getting the education that they need behind the wheel.
Now, do you know for sure they're giving them the answers, or is this just what you've heard?
It's been seen and and videotaped numerous times.
Okay.
Yes. But I think, when you're talking about the other side of that, many people wait until they're 18 to get a license because our driver's education is so expensive.
Right. Well, that is true. And that's one thing that has changed since from when I was in school. I don't know how old you are, Kim, but when I went to school in the 80s at Beaver Creek, you could sign up to take driver's ed as a class.
Right.
And I want to say that the fee, I'm not kidding, was like $90.
Yes.
And that was for 9 weeks.
Yeah. I had a child who's just been a licensed driver for a couple years now, and we were up, I think it was almost $700.
That's crazy.
For all of the courses and the driving.
That is crazy.
Yes.
I mean, you can certainly function in society without having your driver's license. But as somebody who was once married to someone who didn't have a driver's license, that's a pain in the butt. Get your license, and I know a lot of kids today, younger kids, are either opting out of that, or like you said, they're waiting until they're older. And that's probably part of it, is because of the cost.
I know my daughter's got a few friends who they say that's actually why they're waiting, because of the cost.
Yeah. That's just, it's crazy, and not to go off on a tangent about this, but the cost of having your kids do anything extra anymore is insane. I mean, I remember playing Little League and it was $25 and you got a uniform that you borrowed and you gave it back at the end of the year. And now, if you want to be on a team, it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. It's crazy.
You're right.
It's just crazy. That's why so many kids probably just sit at home playing video games. And we'll just buy you a $200 system and $200 system, and that's it.
We've got a cheerleader, so need I say more?
Yeah, I get it. It's crazy. Them pom-poms are expensive. All right, Kim, thanks for your call. 937-457-1290. We have board game news.
I love board games. You love board games. We love board games. Board
Been a while.
board games. Board games. Board games. Board games.
So this is interesting. I'm sure you've all heard of the game Jenga. Jenga is the game where you've got these different shaped blocks, and you have to build, up this gigantic tower. Or actually, I think you pull them out, right? Yeah, it's been a while since you played, but you pull them out, and then you try to I guess, make it, you don't want it to crash down. Isn't that right? Ron, are you down there? Are you available? Is Ron down there? Can you talk? Sorry. I called an audible.
Yeah, what's up?
You ever played Jenga?
A long time ago, yeah.
Is that you pull the blocks out and you try to not get the building to crash in, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well, somebody's turned that into a drinking game. And they've put Jello shots, like they've cut little holes on some of the pieces that you can freeze and make Jello shots. And if you pull one of those out, you have to eat the Jello.
But beer pong was too
much
fun or something?
I guess, yeah.
You needed to try something else?
Right.
Wow.
And so I got thinking of all the games that we've played in our lives, like all the board games, what would make a great drinking game? So I came up with a couple. The obvious one to me was Operation.
Yeah.
So when you're playing, and if you your little tweezers hit the side of the board, and it, you'd have to take a drink.
That's all you would hear is buzz.
Buzz. Right.
Yeah.
So if you get the buzz, you take a shot, and then you get another buzz. See what I'm saying? You get
My game would probably be Monopoly, because I can't beat anybody sober, so maybe I can beat someone drunk.
That could work. The other one I was thinking of was Yahtzee. And it's just a simple rule. It's like if you roll triples on the first roll of your turn, you'd have to take a drink. You know what I mean? You got the dice there, and you roll, 3 threes or something.
Yeah.
You take a drink.
There you go.
And then I thought Battleship.
Battleship.
Right. If you miss, now you could get, this could become really drunken, ugly, drunken Battleship quickly. If you miss your opponent's ship, you take a drink. If your ship gets hit, you take a drink.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I thought, well, we got to get the kids involved. Candyland. And do you remember playing Candyland?
Oh gosh, I don't. No.
Yeah, there's one of the things on Candyland is you're going around the board. I guess you lose a turn, and I kind of remember this, if you land on the licorice space, because a lot of kids don't like licorice.
Right.
So they've demonized licorice.
Yeah.
That if you land on the licorice space, you have to take a drink. And then the last one, and I haven't quite figured out how it worked, but it's just fun to say, Hungry Hippo. I don't know how that would work. If what is it? If the hippo gets the marble, you have to. I don't know.
I'm not sure about that either. How would that work?
But I think it would be funny to go into work on Monday and say, "Man, I got really, really wasted this weekend playing Hungry Hippo."
Yeah.
And then that leads into a whole other conversation. About games that you can turn into drinking games.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's
too
all I
much
have.
Work on that Jenga one, though. That's just too much work for
Well,
that.
exactly.
You can do other games.
Yeah. Apparently, it also comes with Jello shot cups and lids and a Jello shot recipe card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. 937-457-1290. Yeah, and you may not know this, but the Evening Edge is actually we've turned this into a drinking game, and it's been this. We've had this for a while. I talk about it from time to time, and with the holidays coming, you might be looking for a way to entertain guests. and maybe one of those board games ideas might work. But the Evening Edge drinking game, it's done with sound effects. Now, if you haven't heard this, I'm going to go through some of these, and then you can just play along when you listen. Now, one of the popular things when lovely edgeheads call in and they say, hey, I like your show, we play this. Now, I'm not going to ask you to drink every time you hear that because, quite honestly, a lot of people say, they like the show. Every third time you hear it, you take a drink. Now, if you hear this, now again, this is if you're having a cocktail or a beverage after work and you're listening to the show, guys take a drink. Guys take a drink from the pummeling. Now, if you hear this, ladies, that's your turn. That's your turn. Now, if you hear this, you take a drink from someone else's drink. Because it is kind of a mystery. You don't know what it's going to be. If you hear, let's see where to go. Let's skip that one since I can't find it. Oh, if you're the oldest person in the room and you hear yodeling, you take a drink. Now, obviously, if you're a trucker, but not if you're driving. If you're a trucker as a profession, you take a drink. Now, this one...
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
Very simple. If you're not wearing undies, you take a drink. And this goes for both the ladies and the men. Now, if you hear this one... that's the wrong one. Actually, it's this one. Oh, yeah, from The Price is Right. This is different. You spin an empty bottle, and whoever it points to takes a drink. Okay? And then lastly, of course, beer. If you're drinking beer and you hear beer, you take a drink. There's more, but I don't want to bore you with all of them. But you can get the list on my Facebook page. It might be fun this weekend.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, a hero.
Oh, he's a keeper.
It's fun listening. It's a good ride, but there's never any real danger.
Give it some time, man. You'll realize.
You'll see. He'll grow on you.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Now from the WHIO News Center, here are the three big things.
Miss. Heather, you're behind a little bit. I'm actually 2 for 3. I've made 2 out of 3 baskets. Dee 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 dee. Bum 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 bum. Do. Oh, I loved watching Emergency. It's been a while since I've seen it. I always loved that show. Randolph Mantooth, John Gage, and Roy DeSoto. I'd love that show. What's it called? St. Denis? I've not seen that.
Plumbing Studios.
What do we know about this guy, Mr. Hot Stuff?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. This happened up in Ontario over the weekend. There was a big Christmas parade going on in beautiful downtown Ontario. And apparently there was a 62-year-old woman who was there with her family, and she got into a dispute with a fellow spectator who she says was blocking her family's view of the parade. So the suspect punched the victim directly in the face and knocked him out. The person who was knocked out was dressed as Santa Claus. Oh. Ho, ho, ho. Giving Santa a slap down. But this year's parade had the theme of Christmas at the circus. So kind of works, right? A little circus, a little out of control. Robert in New Carlisle. What's up, Robert?
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Excellent show.
Oh, thank you so much. Everybody take a drink now. Anyway, what's going on?
Morning hand, so I'll have to wait till later.
Okay. What's happening?
Okay, on this driver license thing,
Yeah.
education.
Yeah.
Used to be done in the school by a regular teacher,
Yeah.
and it should still be that way. They went to private institutions to do it. That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And there's no sense in it with all the programs that they have out there and allowing people that come across the border and just giving them a piece of paper so they can go get a driver's license without even proving that they can even drive.
Yeah, and and I get your point, but it really does go for everybody. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you're trying to drive here in the United States, you should have some sort of training. And I just don't think. And Donna, who called in, I think it was Donna or somebody called in, made a great point. Or Kim did. It was Kim from Springfield. Just talked about how expensive it is to try to get this training. Yeah. And it's ridiculous because that's something that everybody should know how to do and know how to do safely. And if you just make it too expensive, they're just going to be like, I can't afford it. I got other things I got to pay for,
I guess that falls into the place where they're trying to get you into those 15-minute cities so that way you ain't driving.
Right. I got you. All right, Robert, I got to fly, man, but I appreciate your call.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment. Spell it out, punk. T-double-D. H-double-L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? Thanks for watching tonight. Tech training. What sort of tech? Ah. We had our office in-office Christmas luncheon today, and they had Chipotle cater it and Ritter's ice cream.
Scheduled news in less than 15 minutes and immediately when it breaks. I'm Ron Otto, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. Dayton's News and Talk depend on it.
If news breaks, we break in anytime. Now, back to America's most powerful talk lineup. This is WHIO.
And now the moment we've been waiting for is here.
Hey, I'm here for the big show.
This guy, Todd, does he make you laugh?
He's funny.
He's amusing sometimes.
It's kind of a big show.
Okay, boys, hit it.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Live stream is up on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. This hour, we got some food news, maybe some naked news. And we've got a dumb ways to die. You ever heard of slap therapy? Apparently, this is a thing. Started in the Far East. Feel better? No? Let's keep going. But somebody died because of slap therapy. Crazy. So we're going to talk about that. I saw this story. Now, this is why I have a problem with some of the reporting that we see and read and hear and watch today. Is that they don't get into the sort of the most salient details, or I guess I don't know what you would call it, the apex of a story. I'm not sure. But I saw this a few places today, and the article is in, I saw it pop up all over the place, but it's an article in People magazine. And the story is that, and it doesn't say where this guy is from, by the way, which, that's where, like who, what, when, where, why, and how. Those are the questions you have to answer. But there's this guy on TikTok, and he works as a volunteer at a animal shelter. So this past summer, a dog showed up at the shelter that he was volunteering at. And he calls it was just the most beautiful dog. He says that when he and the dog saw each other, there was an instant connection. But because he is a volunteer, they have rules where if you work there, you can't just immediately adopt a dog that comes in, right? They kind of have to give, I guess, the public an opportunity to try to adopt this dog. And a lot of places have sort of rules like that. Some stores, I think Goodwill might be one. If you work there, you can't just buy something that ends up on the floor that day because they want everybody to have a chance. Somebody could get a job there and just, scoop up all the good stuff. So that's the rule. So finally in July, he was able to adopt this dog. Now, what they found out at the shelter about this particular dog is that this dog had been through a number of homes. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out, whether the people were moving, whether they had a little kid that didn't get along with the dog, whatever it is. The dog was back in the shelter. So he adopts the dog, takes the dog home, and for 4 months, he and this dog are the best of friends, best buddies. He posts a picture of the dog and of himself on a Facebook group, people and their pets or whatever. And then he gets contacted by the original owner of the dog. Now, the original owner had also the mom and dad dog who had this particular dog that ended up in the shelter. They wanted him back. They wanted the dog back after seeing him on Facebook. Now, this is where my problem is with the reporting on this. It doesn't say how the dog left the first house. It doesn't say, did the dog run away and they never found him? It doesn't say if, they just didn't want to deal with it. Or maybe, as some people do, they have puppies and then they sell the puppies or they give them away, whichever. Maybe mom and dad puppy or dog had this puppy or maybe a number of puppies and they sold them. You see signs for that all the time. You see it online. But these people wanted the dog back. And it had been years. It had been years. It wasn't just like a few months. I mean, it'd been a while. Several owners. Well, this guy, to his credit, he gave him the dog back. Now, my question is, would it make a difference to you why the people would A, want the dog back, or B, how it left them in the first place? Totally, right? There's a part of me that says if the dog ran away, one day somebody left the gate open and whoosh, out he went. And they've been looking and they've been looking. They thought, no, we're never going to find him. And then suddenly he shows up. I would feel inclined to return the dog. Whether I adopted it at a shelter or bought it from somebody. On the other hand, there's a part of me that feels like, well, wait a second. If this dog didn't run away from your house, how did it end up in somebody else's house? And then someone after that? You know what I mean? It's like, did you sell it? Did you just give it away? Well, what's the story? It doesn't say that in the People article. And I feel like that is a very important point. It's like, why? How? So my question is, if somebody comes along, you've adopted a dog from a shelter or you purchased a dog from somebody. I've said this before. A lot of people are all about, adopting dogs from shelters. I 100% get that. We were looking for very specific dogs. One that don't really shed like other dogs. Neither of our dogs do that. And we paid for them. But I don't know if I would entertain returning a dog to somebody that they haven't had for, at least in this case, it's like 2+ years. I don't know. I'd just be curious to what people think. I mean, I feel like it would really have to depend on the circumstance. Or do you just, fall on the sword and just be like, oh, that's your dog. If you've got proof that it's your dog, then it's your dog. And it doesn't say how they prove that. How do they prove that? I mean, you could certainly do a DNA test. Or maybe they have papers. Which there again leads to the question, well, how did it end up, in somebody else's house? Just be curious what people think on that. And if that's ever happened. Like, have you ever adopted a pet, post pictures on social media like everybody does of their pets, their doggies, their kitties, their armadillo. I don't know. People don't have armadillos, but I don't know. Muskrats. I don't know. Something. Weasels, bunnies, whatever. You get my point. I'd just be curious. Like, would you give it back? I mean, it's pretty big for that guy to do that. And he's a volunteer at a shelter, so he must have obviously a true deep love of animals and understands the bonds that people have with their pets. So maybe that's where his decision is coming from. I'm not sure. I don't think I would just give somebody's dog back. We have a idiot of the week.
You are a stupid idiot!
Comes from upbringing. Parents are probably idiots too.
Idiot! Imbecile pig!
Wake up, idiot!
Silly dilly dilfio. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's true.
So this is kind of an interesting story because, we just kicked off. The other day we talked about it. This is the Huffy holidays, the Todd's Bikes for Tykes. The first shipment of bikes were delivered today to the Greene County Sheriff's Office. So there's going to be some kids that are going to be getting brand new bikes courtesy of Huffy on Christmas Day, which is exciting. I think they got 5 bikes out in Greene County at the Sheriff's Office. And there's still 95 more bikes to be delivered to many other different organizations throughout the area. But that's what got my attention with this story, because there's a guy in Scotland, Perthshire, Scotland. His name is Nigel Carter, which sounds like a very European, UK, British name. Nigel. Apparently, Nigel has spent the better part of a year collecting about 500 bikes that he was going to send to a charity in Sudan that helps people who need cheap transportation to get to school or work. So he's collected these bikes from a variety of areas. I guess you just find scrap bikes. People sometimes just toss them. He'd do a little bit of work on them, I guess, and then fix them up. And he'd put them with his big collection that he's going to send to Sudan. So he went through all the process, and he was getting ready to ship these to Sudan. And that's when a Scottish Environment Protection Agency inspector stepped in and said that the bikes could not be shipped because they needed minor repairs, such as oil on chains and new brake cables. So instead of these people in Sudan getting these bikes that are vital, could be vital to their livelihood, their education, help them out, right? The bikes, I guess, are going to be returned to the recycling center where they're going to be scrapped. That is idiotic. And that inspector is an idiot. But how cool that this guy went through all the trouble. 500 bikes. And he hooked up with some charity over there, and they were going to pay to have the bike shipped over. And he did all that work. Took the bikes to the port. Did everything he was supposed to. Nope. Sorry. That chain's a little rusty.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Spell it out, punk.
Double D.
H.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Thank you, Craig. That is a lot of bikes. But how ridiculous. How ridiculous. Guys trying to help. Ron, I've heard that too. There was somebody that was doing that years ago, and I don't know if he's still doing it or not. It's a cool thing to do. It went in, Heather. I've only missed one so far tonight. I just threw one. I made it. I think I've thrown 4, maybe 5. You want to know something that's kind of funny and also a little sad? So we have there's a company that there is a cleaning company that CMG hired to come in and clean in the evenings, empty the waste baskets, vacuum, that kind of thing. And it's been the same group for a number of years, and they're great people, great people. But we have 2 waste baskets, as you can see here. We have the regular waste basket that you could put, food wrappers and empty cups, coffee cups, the kind of thing that doesn't get recycled. And then you have the blue bucket or the blue bin that is supposed to be for recycling. And you're only supposed to put paper in there. Stuff that can be recycled. He hasn't been in for a long time. Let me back up. Sorry. The guy that does it used to come. Well, when I was doing the show before I was on from 6 to 8, he would come during the 7 o'clock hour. And I would see him come in, and he would take the waste baskets, and he'd take them out in the hallway, and he'd pour them in the trash can, the big trash can that's on wheels, that he would then, empty into a bigger trash can. But here's the thing. He threw everything in the same trash can. Everything went into the same trash can. There was no recycling going on. And I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, because sometimes when I do work later than 7, if I have stuff to do here, I'll see him in the hallway, and he's still got that same one basket, big trash dumpster thing that he wheels around the building. So I don't think there's any recycling going on. And it's like, well, then why do we have the big blue buckets? Other than for me to play basketball. Yeah, it's just for looks, Heather. Just for looks. Yes, my conscience is clear. But here's the thing. I don't think it's the company. I mean, I'm sure the company, CMG, probably thinks that, there's recycling going on. We used to have one of those places that would come and you have those big shredding boxes. Put them in there. The truck shows up, take it out back, and they shred all the documents, all the secret documents or whatever. We used to have that too, and then that went away. I'll just burn it all out back.
15. We'll have more at 6:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 at 95.7 WHIO.
And Tom, Tom, what were you again?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
First, we both get naked.
Let's get naked.
Why are you naked? I didn't know you were naked.
He saw me naked.
I think we should get naked.
Be naked.
I am naked.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. I saw this story earlier in the week, and I just haven't had a chance to get to it because we had UD football, we had Browns game. Last night I was off. And by the way, people were asking me today, they send me messages why I wasn't on the show last night, why we had a best of. And I posted a picture of it on my my Facebook page, the reason why. And I've talked about this before on the show. I am a card-carrying member of the Santa Legion. And when, especially, this time of the year, when Santa has a lot of places to be, he can't make them all. I mean, he tries, but he's only one guy. So as a card-carrying member, from time to time, I will get the call. And it'll be Santa calling from the North Pole, and he'll be like, hey, I need you to do something for me. So I snap to. You don't argue, you don't complain. Whatever plans you have goes to the back burner. And last night I had to work. And it was for one of our sister stations, K99, their Jingle Jam. So if you want to see Santa Todd, you can check out my Facebook page. All right, naked news. Here we go. From Santa to naked news. Nice segue. Ho, ho, ho. So I don't know if you saw that. I saw this story earlier in the week. Kaylee Kuko. She's the actress that was on the Big Bang Theory. Hot. I mean, she's smoking. In my opinion, I think she's smoking. She was on Late Night with Seth Meyers, and she revealed just a few hours before she was on the show, she checked into her hotel. She went into her room. She unpacked her bags. She stripped down, and she went to get in the shower. Because I'm sure she was traveling, and people, when I travel, if I'm ever on a plane, or heck, even if I'm on a long drive, if I've driven to Atlanta a number of times. When I get to Atlanta, the first thing I do is shower. I've been in my car all day, especially in the summertime. Well, that's what she was doing. She's in her bathroom, butt naked, her words, not mine. And she's blowing her hair. Suddenly, in the mirror in the bathroom, she sees some stranger in her room. Now, clearly she freaks out, as any woman would. Well, as anybody would. I mean, if I was the dude in the bathroom, naked and blow drying my hair, I would freak out too if I saw somebody in my room. Well, she's telling this story, and it turns out that the guy who walked in apparently works at the hotel, is in maintenance, and didn't know, supposedly, that she was in there. And it got me thinking, my first thought was, oh yeah, when a big star like that's in your hotel, though I guess in, Hollywood or New York City or wherever the show is, not probably a big deal. You see stars all the time, right? Then I thought, well, no, he knew she was there. He was, that's where my mind went. But then I started thinking, if you're Kaylee Kuko and you're a big Hollywood celebrity and she looks the way she does, I mean, she's attractive. I think she's very attractive. Why wouldn't you put that deadbolt on your door? That little thing you can, just slide over so you can't open the door with a key? I would think if anybody is going to, protect themselves with all of the security, it would be somebody like her. So yeah, guy's fault. He should have known she was in there, but why didn't she lock the door better?
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Spell it out. Double D. Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
I'm telling you, man, the backboard has made all the difference. Remember before we had the backboard, I would miss more than I would make. Oh, with my baskets, huh? Lee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Hot cocoa.
Heather, let me see if I can find it. I don't have my Christmas stuff pulled yet. I was going to wait until next week. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's see.
Ding, fries it done. Ding, fries it done. Ding, fries it done. Ding, fries it done. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. I work at Burger King making flamboyant Whoppers. I wear paper hats. Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that? Ding, fries it done. Ding, fries it done. Ding, fries it done. Ding, fries it done. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. Don't touch the fries in hot fat. It really hurts bad, and so do skin grafts. Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that? Wait for the bell, can't hear the bell. Where is the bell? Wait for the bell. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done.
At 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. I work at Burger King making flamboyant Whoppers. I wear paper hats. Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that? Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. Don't touch the fries in hot fat. It really hurts bad, and so do skin grafts. Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that? Wait for the bell, can't hear the bell. Where is the bell? Wait for the bell. Ding, fries are done. Ding, fries are done.
By request off the live stream from Family Guy. I was going to wait until next week to get all the Christmas nonsense out. But we had a couple of requests on the live stream. They wanted to hear that. So there you go. Just in time for the weekend. 937-457-1290 is the telephone number. So I saw this story, and this comes up from time to time. I really should have some sort of produced open. When we have a story of a kid taking a car for a joyride, like a young kid. Remember the one we had? We had one down in Middletown a couple of years ago. And this kid was like, what was he, like 6? 5 or 6? And he, I think he was going to a, was it like a Speedway or a 7-Eleven or something? He was going somewhere to get a slushie. Remember that? And the kid he took mom's keys to the minivan and hit the road. Well, this happened in Grant County, Washington. Authorities say a 12-year-old boy stole his grandfather's car and led officers on a chase. The boy allegedly stole the car from his grandpa in Issaquah, Washington. The boy had some connection to the town of Grant County on the eastern side of Washington state. So the Issaquah police were notified that the boy might drive there. Now, I don't know exactly. David, could you look online real quick? Find out how far Grant County, let's see, how far Grant County is from Issaquah. Is that right? Maybe it doesn't have all the details. I'd like to know how far this kid drove. Grant County, Washington, eastern side of Washington state. I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't as far as I think. But the way it was written, it sounds like he drove all the way across the state. Anyway, the Grant County Sheriff's Office Motor Traffic Unit went looking for the car and found it parked on a curb. As they approach, the boy, the 12-year-old behind the wheel, took off and led deputies on a chase. So this kid, 12 years old, not just driving the car. Did you find it? Oh, pop on there.
168 miles.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So this 12-year-old drove 160 some miles before getting caught. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. Now, I didn't see a picture of the kid. You know, they never put kids like that in, they get busted for stuff like that, their picture. I mean, he could be a good-sized 12-year-old kid. Could reach the pedals, no problem. I don't know if I could have driven at 12. I had enough trouble driving the riding lawnmower. Ran over a tree once. I really did. I mean, granted, it was a small little pine tree, but killed it. A little bit like that tree up in Troy. It's kind of. But here's the thing: he led the deputies on a chase, and they knew that this was a 12-year-old. Okay, they knew he was a 12-year-old. They performed a pit maneuver on him. Now that's, if you don't know, that's when the police car sort of lines up with the back end of the car on the side, right? And then they kind of gently lean into the other car, and it pushes the backside around, and the driver usually loses control and ends up sometimes facing the other direction, and they're able to stop him. I find it interesting that in a police chase with a car that they know is being driven by a 12-year-old, that they would try something like that. You know, I mean, doesn't that sound a little unusual? I guess if it was an adult, this guy was, running from the cops or something, crime he committed, robbed a bank. Sure. 12-year-old. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done it. It's just surprising to me that they would resort to a pit maneuver to stop this kid. We have a dumb ways to die. Actually, two.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
So when we do this feature, I always mention we're not making fun of these people and their untimely demise. I mean, anybody loses their life. It's a sad moment. It's a tragedy for them and, of course, their family and loved ones. But sometimes people do crazy things, and that's what leads to their demise. And this is our way of sort of giving you sort of their cautionary tale. So when you're running around out there in the wild, you make good decisions, because death could be waiting for you around any corner. And this one is from Columbus. This is a Columbus story. This is from WBNS up in Columbus. Police there say a person is dead after their body was discovered hanging from a power line. Columbus police were called to the 800 block of Stambach Avenue just after 2:45 in the afternoon for a report of a body on an electric wire. So this person apparently did this in the middle of the day. Firefighters pronounced the person dead a few minutes after arriving. They believe that the person was trying to steal copper wire. And this is a big problem. I mean, we hear it all the time, homes that are under construction, if there's copper tubing or, pipes or whatever. I don't know that they really use. I know some homes still have that installed brand new. Some use the plastic, the hard plastic stuff or whatever. But this person apparently was trying to steal copper wires from a live wire. From a live power line. And this makes no sense to me. Fire officials said the power lines had not been used for a while, but there was still some voltage in them. So I don't know how that works. If there's voltage in it, I would think that it's being used, right? Now, maybe nothing's connected to it, but if there's power running through it, to me, that's a live wire. But this guy, maybe he didn't think it was live. Who knows? The person killed was not immediately identified. So, but that is a dumb way to die. Trying to steal copper is, a bad thing, obviously. But trying to do it from a power line takes it to a notch higher. And then the second story, this is crazy. There's a guy by the name of Hongqi Xiao. And I know I'm butchering that name. Hongqi is a 61-year-old alternative healer from California, of course. He was recently sentenced to 10 years in prison after a 71-year-old woman in the UK died during a slapping therapy workshop led by this man in 2016. I've never heard of this before. Now, I've seen those stupid videos of people slap fighting. You've seen those where you just stand. It's like arm wrestling, but just with slapping. You get right up next to each other, right in each other's face, right? And usually there's some, I think, what I've seen is there's some sort of platform in between them, and they stand there with their hands on the platform, and then their opponent smack as hard as they can. Well, in this instance, this is therapy. And it's not, I guess you could think maybe, could this be therapy for some sort of like emotional thing? Maybe they're trying to rid someone of depression. But that's not the case. Proponents of slap therapy believe the practice, which has its roots in traditional Chinese medicine, releases toxins or poisonous waste, as they call it, from the blood. The practice involves the patient being slapped by a practitioner like this, or slapping themselves like that. The woman who died during the slaps therapy session was a diagnosed diabetic, had been a diabetic for over 20 years. So she's well entrenched in diabetes. But she went to this slap therapy workshop hoping that somehow this could cure her of her diabetes. So the woman stopped taking her insulin while she was there at the workshop. Despite the woman showing severe symptoms, including vomiting and pain, this Hongqi Xiao failed to seek medical help for the woman. Critics argue that the technique lacks scientific basis. You think? Now, I know that there's a lot of unusual, weird, different, maybe weird is too judgmental, but a different kind of alternative health, right? there's a show like that here on the weekends. But they say there's no scientific basis for slap therapy. And basically all it does is cause harm, bruises, and bleeding. So sadly, this woman died, but she left her well-being in the hands of a slap therapist. That's a dumb ways to die.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, a hero.
Oh, he's a keeper.
It's fun listening.
It's a good ride, but there's never any real danger.
Give it some time, man. You'll realize. You'll see. He'll grow on you.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Somebody needs to monitor Captain Scurvy. Good gosh. That guy's out of control. All right, we got two more. 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Now I'm on a roll, man. Come on, what else can I throw away? Man, I am like Magic Johnson. What else? What else? What else? I got more. I got more. Oh! Got cocky. Got cocky. Back on track. Back on track. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at him go. Look at him go. Oh, I missed that one. Oh, my arm's sore now.
Temperatures slowly climb into the 50s by Monday, while latest at 7 o'clock. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
I'm just trying to make a living.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Well, next week, I'm going to roll out all the crazy Christmas stuff that we do on the show. We've got, that right there. We've got Elf Beatdown. If you are feeling a little angsty about the holidays and you need to release some stress, you'll be able to call in and give one of Santa's elves a beat down. We'll have the wheel of hose. Remember that? The wheel of hose. We spin the wheel, and who knows where the wheel's going to land. You'll get to hear what sort of ho you're going to get this year for Christmas. And Santa's naughty or nice list. Call in. You ask Santa. And if you're on the naughty list, it's good to know because it gives you plenty of time to sort of work things out. It doesn't do any good if you do naughty or nice like the day before Christmas, a few days before. There's not enough time for you to mend your ways. So the more time you have to sort of get on Santa's good side, the better. So all the Christmas chaos begins next week for 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks. And then I'm going to be off for 2 solid weeks. So 10 more shows before the holiday break. So listen while you can, kids. Have a terrific weekend. Be safe out there. Don't forget, you can get this podcast at eveningedgetodd.com. All your other favorite podcast platforms. Have a terrific weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
That's it. I'm pulling the plug.
You know what? I'm done.
Well, is that it? Is that all?
Oh, that was fun.
Show's over, ladies.
Not bad, huh?
Will you get an A for effort?
Good night, sweet prince.
Peace out, player. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Good night, everybody.
All right, Edgeheads, have a good weekend. See ya.